Nice move, right by. Layup and good, and that'll be end one.
Welcome to WCTV's coverage of Wildcat High School sports basketball, boys basketball. We're coming to you live from Cushing Gymnasium at Wilmington High School for tonight's game between the Melrose Red Raiders and the Wilmington Wildcats. The Red Raiders, Middlesex Freedom Division members, are coming off a 67-53 win versus Lexington this past Thursday. Melrose, coached by Danny Burns, is 9-6 in the Freedom Division and 12-6 overall. These two teams last met on January 17th, with Melrose winning 70-37. It's been a rough season for the youthful Wildcats. As they play their final home game, they still have an outside chance to make the tourney versus the Sullivan Rule. To do that, they need to win both games next week versus Triton and St. Joe's Prep. They entered today's game fresh off a 56-45 loss versus Woburn this past Thursday. The Cats entered play tonight with a 2-12 league record and are 12-15 overall. 2-12 and 2-15, excuse me. Before the Woburn game, the Cats celebrated senior night where they recognized all the seniors for their contributions to the program. Wilmington is led by fourth-year coach Dennis Ingram. And as a quick reminder, we are live tonight, Friday, January 24th, and we would like to thank our sponsors, Analog Devices and Red Heat Tavern, for bringing you Wildcat sports coverage on WCTV this winter. We will be right back with the starting lineups right after these messages.
Special thanks to our business sponsors who help support WCTV's coverage of Wildcat sports this winter, including Analog Devices, proudly supporting the Wilmington community for over 40 years.
WCTV's coverage of Wildcat sports this winter is sponsored in part by Red Heat Tavern. Red Heat's catering service brings their backyard grilling experience to you. Their event platters can be customized to suit any occasion and the dietary needs of your party, and when the time comes, they'll work with you to create a menu for your graduation party. Online at redheattavern.com/catering, or you can email catering@redheattavern.com.
All right, so we are live right now, Wilmington High School boys basketball. We've got our starting lineups coming up right now. Wilmington's had a rough season so far, but we're hoping that they can having a good game. But for Melrose, we have number 2, Robert Wisen, number 3, Christopher Casulo, who's a captain, number 4, Ryan Mayer, number 5, Charles Borstel, who's also a captain, and 22, Luka Vlaškovic. I think his sister was in the girls' game that just happened. And we have your Wilmington starters coming right up. But up the line, we have number 22, Luka Vlaškovic, and Jimmy McCarron, who's been one of the couple stars on the Wildcats this season. Taking it up the court is number 3, Christopher Cozulito, who goes to 4, Ryan Mayer. Number 5 with the 3, and it's good. Number 5, Charles Borstel, who's a captain with his first three-pointer of the game. Taking up the top of the key. Right at the top, we have Kevin Palmerino, who takes it in, gives it to Ryan Clark, who takes the 3, and is good. Ryan Clark with a three-pointer. Got 2 three-pointers right off the bat. This is shaping up to be a very entertaining game. Number 3, Christopher Cuzolito, taken up at the top of the court. Gets it back to him, goes to 4, Borstel. 22, pass it to 3 again, 3. Ooh, almost a shot. Takes it in 22, who throws it out of bounds. Let's take a look at the Wilmington starters. We have number 2, Tommy Mallinson, number 3, Kevin Palmerino, 11, Ryan Clark, number 21, Will Doucette, and number 23, Jimmy McCarron, who already has his first three-pointer of the game. I believe Jimmy McCarron. Excuse me, that was Ryan Clark who had the 3. Speaking of Clark, he steals the ball. Jimmy McCarron puts up a shot, hits the side of the rim. And it is out with Melrose ball. Passing the ball in is number 4, Ryan Mayer. Number 3, Christopher Cuzolito, taken up at the top of the court. Oh, we got pass to 5, back to 3, Cuzolito. Number 4, Ryan Mayer, pass it to 22, Luka Vlaškovic. And number 3 pops it up, misses, rebounded by 2. Stolen by what looks like a combination of McCarron and Clark. 6:30 left in the first period, tied 3-3. Oh, it looks like there was a foul. Number 21, Will Doucette, his first foul. It's passed in number 2, 23, brings it out to 3, who drives, puts it up for the 2 and misses. Tipped away by McCarron, back to 3. Ryan Mayer puts it up. Ooh, out. It's a ganging up happening right now at the bottom. And it looks like there was a foul. What appears Tommy Mallinson, I believe. Oh no, it was Will Doucette again with another foul, his second foul. 5 putting up the shot. It's good. Charles Borstel putting up his second shot. Hoping to bring the game, and it is 3-5 now. Wildcats tailing with only 2 behind. All right, Tommy Mallinson, top of the key, puts up his 3. Tommy Mallinson, one of the very talented players on the team, puts it up his first 3 of the game. I believe last game I was on the crew here. He got 3 in a row, so he's a very talented player. If you get it to him at the top, he's able to put him in. And it looks like a shot from number 22, Luka Vlaskovic. Mallinson passes Palmerino, gives it to Clark, back to Mallinson, drives in, gives it to Kevin Palmerino. Ooh, almost a close one, but it is off the rim. 22, Luka Vlaskovic driving up, pass it to 5. Charles Borstel, back to 22, and he's fouled, but the shot is not good. Looks like another one on Will Doucette. Oh no, that was on number 12, Luke Murphy, who's now in the game. Number 22, Luka Vlaskovic going for his second. It's good. Clark passes into Palmerino, taking it up the court. Palmerino drives in, passes to Clark. Clark drives in, goes for the layup, it misses. Rebounded by number 22, Luka Vlaskovic. Number 4, Ryan Mayer. Oh, and it's put up by number 5. Charles Borstel misses. Number 2 gets it back, passes it right to Ryan Clark, who starts taking up the top, passes to Mallinson. The boys, I think they have a solid plan. If they can get it out to Mallinson at the top, they can really, be effective with their scoring. And they're only 2 behind right now, so hopefully Kevin Palmerino fakes a 3, passes out to Mallinson, who puts it up, hopefully trying to score his second one, and he misses. Luka Vlaskovic taking it up. Number 5, Borstel drives in, puts it up, is not good, and he is fouled. Looks like it was a foul on number 2, Tommy Mallinson. Yes, that was. Number 5, Borstel taking it up for 2. Trying to make this game 6-10, Melrose. His first shot's good. Wildcats are now tailing by 3. Number 34 and 21 for Melrose just subbed in. Number 34 for Melrose, Brandon McSorley. Kevin Palmerino takes it up. Passes to Mallinson. Pressing it in. Back to Palmerino in the corner. Ooh, Ryan Clark with it looked like an over-the-head shot. So that number 3, Christopher Cuzalito taking it up. Passes to number 22, Vlaskovic. The 21 is Christopher Paul, who just got the ball. McCarron got the rebound to Clark. Clark's taking it in. Going for the drive, pass to Palmerino, who also goes in at the top of the key, shoots the 2, and it's good. Ref has some words for the table. That was Clark. All right. Looks like the timeout is over. 3:32 remaining in the first period. A tie game, 10-10. Currently, Ryan Clark having a great game, putting up 7 of the Wildcats' 10. 21, Christopher Paul takes it at the top, passes back to 5, Borstel. Paul puts it up, misses, taken by Clark. Brings it up with Palmerino. Palmerino passes to Mallinson. Back to Palmerino. Jimmy McCarron, top here, passes back to Clark. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Clark puts it up for a 3 and is missed. Brought up by number 22, Luka Vlaskovic. His sister had a pretty good game in the women's match, where the girls had a historic league win, their first since 2012. As a quick reminder, we are live tonight, Thursday, February 13th. As number 34, Brandon McSorley takes the ball for the free throw for 2. Misses his first. Hoping to give the Melrose team a little bit of a lead. It is tied, but the Wildcats are, they do have 5 more fouls than Melrose, so you've got to keep that in mind. It's definitely, fouling out is definitely a possibility for some of our players. Second one's good for McSorley. Ryan Clark passes it into Palmerino, takes it up. Palmerino passes out to Mallinson. Puts it up for the 2, misses, gets his own rebound, pass to McCarron. McCarron puts it up. Look, oh, it's a travel called on McCarron. Ryan Mayer will pass it in up to Christopher Paul, who will bring it up the court. Passes back to Mayer. Christopher Paul in the corner. Looking for Mayer to give him the 3. Oh, puts it right underneath number 34, Brandon McSorley. It's going to be out. It's going to be white ball. The Wildcats taking it in. Number 11, Ryan Clark. Tommy Mallinson taking it up. Passes to Luke Murphy. To Kevin Palmerino. Ryan Clark at the top. Ryan Clark has had a very good game. Jimmy McCarron puts up the 3, and it's just off the front of the rim. McCarron's been one of the star players on the Wildcats this year, despite their less than perfect record. Number 22, Luka Vlaskovic, puts up another shot. I believe that was a 3. Ryan Clark taking on top. Ooh, a long 3 from Tommy Mallinson, missed. You got to be careful when you're taking those long ones, because you're pretty far out from the 3, and you got to be careful when you take those, because it's pretty easy to misgauge the distance and everything. So it was out. Not a foul. Number 22, Luka Vlaskovic, will take it in for the Red Raiders. Passes to Charles Borstel. Paul up the top. Paul to 4, Ryan Mayer. Back to Vlaskovic. Mayer puts it up. Is missed. It's out. Tommy Mallinson being very smart and not touching that ball because that was clearly off of the Red Raiders. Jimmy McCarron fakes the three, throws to Mallinson. Mallinson back to McCarron, and he goes to Mallinson. Mallinson spin, puts in the two. Christopher Paul takes the ball. Ooh, number 2, Robert Wisen puts up his first 2 of the game, I believe. Kevin Palmerino bringing it up, driving it up. Oh, was a foul on number, I believe that's 21, Christopher Paul. Ryan Clark will take it in for the Cats. Pass to Palmerino. Ooh, Christopher Paul, another foul, back to back. Like I said earlier, fouling out is definitely a possibility here. It's number 10 subs in. Matthew Morrissey. Kevin Palmerino will take it up. Palmerino throws it up to Mallinson. Mallinson likes going for those 3 balls, but he's got to be careful when he's shooting them. It's much easier to go for a layup, and you have a better chance passing one of your tall guys like they have. Evan Watalitz, number 21, in for the Cats. Oh, Will Doucette, excuse me. Will Doucette is number 21. And that'll be the end of the quarter. The Wildcats a little bit behind, only 4 points, but they've got 4 more fouls than Melrose. They got to keep that on their mind while they're playing. So we've got some stats coming right up. Thanks to our statistician, Mr. Nick Toth, who's been helping me out tonight. It's been a long shift for the crew here. We've done a doubleheader. We'll be right back after these brief messages.
WCTV's coverage of Wildcat sports this winter is sponsored in part by Red Heat Tavern. Red Heat's catering service brings their backyard grilling experience to you. Their event platters can be customized to suit any occasion and the dietary needs of your party. And when the time comes, they'll work with you to create a menu for your graduation party. Online at redheattavern.com/catering, or you can email catering@redheattavern.com.
We are back at Cushing Gymnasium at Wilmington High School. Looks like one quick change. We've got number 5, Willie Stewart, in. Stewart passes to 21, Will Doucette. And number 10 as well, Gavin Erickson, is in for the Cats. Ball is out. Looks like we've got a foul shooter. Number 10, Matthew Morrissey. Taking one shot. Makes it. Struggling for a high 5 there. About to take a second. Hoping to bring Melrose. He misses it. Melrose now with a 5-point lead. The Wildcats are having a pretty good game. I mean, obviously, their record, they haven't had a great record or really a great season, but they've had a couple good games, and they have a really young team, so it's always a learning experience, and I think they've got a couple players, specifically Mallinson. You've got Murphy, Doucette, McCarron. They've still got at least one more year on the team, so you've certainly got room to improve. Great experience for all these boys here. Mallinson brings it in, pass it out. Stewart pops up the 3, and he takes it, and he makes it. Willie Stewart's first 3. Banks are open in Wilmington. Looks like Willie Stewart just made a deposit. Number 3, Kuzolito takes a shot, misses. 22, Vlaskovic takes it up, fouled. Taking 2 shots. Looks like number 22 take 2 shots. Number 12, Luke Murphy's second foul. Vlaskovic hoping to take the Melrose Red Raiders to a solid 4-point lead. They're up 3 right now. Luke Murphy subs out for Jimmy McCarran. McCarran, a very talented player, not having much action this game, at least so far, but you've still got 6:52 left in the period. And Vlaskovic takes his second and makes it. Gavin Erickson passing it. Tommy Mallinson is going to take it up. Willie Stewart. Looks like these two are the brothers of the three-pointers, so hopefully they can continue that. McCarran out to Erickson. It's a missed 3. We're hoping to see Turner. Like with the girls' team, which happened just before this, they had a pretty slow first, but then we saw Kylie Ducharme come in and score 31 or 32 points overall. Another 2-pointer for the Red Raiders. Willie Stewart taking it in, passing McCarran. McCarran looking for the shot, but he can't find it. Number 2, Tommy Mallinson. Stewart looks like he fakes the shot. He can't get in there. Thing with Willie Stewart, he's got a great shot, but I mean he is at a height advantage. I mean, and that's what happened with the girls' team. Ducharme was taller than all of them, and she was just able to walk right over them. So you do have some taller players. You got Luke Murphy. Gavin Erickson's not the smallest kid. He's pretty good size. We've got certainly McCarran. He's a tall one. And that's definitely, you can play that to your advantage when you have the ability to drive and not get shut down. Ooh, Tommy Mallinson with the one-hander missed the shot. Missed the layup, Number 10, Matthew Morrissey, the middleman in a transaction of ball handling here. Number 4 takes the shot and misses. Number 4, Ryan Mayer, passes it out to Vlaskovic and makes the 3. Vlaskovic certainly one of their strongest players for the Melrose Red Raiders. Another timeout, and it looks like the Red Raiders are 11 points. Nope, not 11. Oh yes, 11 points above the Wildcats. Certainly not a huge lead when you're thinking basketball. You can have a good period and you'll be fine. We've got stats for number 11, Ryan Clark, coming up. Ryan Clark's had a very good game so far. He's got 7 points of the Wildcats' 15. So I think if he can continue his trend of hitting his shots when he makes them, driving in hard, he's got the size. He can definitely be a powerful player if he drives in enough and he's able to take the ball close and get it in the layup. Stats, once again, graciously by our statistician, Mr. Nick Toth, here on the tablet, giving us the stats tonight. Gavin Erickson will pass it in for the Cats. Kevin Palmerino bringing it up the court. Stewart. These guys are making these tall passes, and you got to be careful with that because, Stewart. The lane was open. He drove in. He took it. Willie Stewart with a 2-pointer. You've got to be careful when you're making those really high passes because you've got some really tall guys. Certainly Vlaskovic on the Red Raiders who can easily just jump up and take those if you're not careful. Almost a jump ball there. McCarran able to get away. The 3, Palmerino passes to Doucette. Stewart back to Palmerino. Takes the shot at the top of the key, hits the front of the rim. You gotta be careful, especially when the Wildcats really haven't seen many super close games this season, and when you've got a chance like that, you really can't afford to be sloppy, and you gotta be careful that you're taking all your shots, making sure they're calculated and everything. So Palmerino looking for a second chance here at the 3-point line. Jimmy McCarran with the 3. Ooh, off the backboard. Not able to find the basket, though. Number 3, Cusalito passes to number 32 for the Red Raiders, Andrew Norton Jefferson. Stewart getting surrounded there by number 3. Passes in. Doucette with a quick pass into McCarron. McCarron, gets it stolen. Pass right back into Stewart, who can't find the layup. Number 4, 3, 22, Vlaskovic. You really can't let him take those threes because even though he missed that one, he's been very successful with his three-pointers this evening. Palmerino with the layup. It's good. Palmerino with another 2-pointer. Kevin Palmerino. He's had a pretty good night so far, getting lots of shots, taking lots of shots at the very least. And Vlaskovic, he's definitely the powerhouse of the Red Raiders. Willie Stewart taking it up. He's a pretty consistent shooter, but doesn't really have the height to drive in the ball crazy unless you've got an open lane. Palmerino passes it. That was smart. Throws it off of the foot of Christopher Cusolito, captain. Look like we've got Ryan Clark and Tommy Mallinson coming back in with Stewart and Doucette coming off. On the court right now, we have Tommy Mallinson, Jimmy McCarron, Gavin Erickson, Kevin Palmerino, and Ryan Clark. Another 3-shot for Mallinson. Can't find it, though. Number 5, Charles Borstel. Pass into Christopher Paul for the Red Raiders. Borstel takes the 3, I believe, and it is missed. Yeah, so right now, Melrose leads with a 7-point lead. Really nothing too bad so far. I mean, Cats are putting up lots of shots. What I don't like is that they're doing these super long passes. And while you've got Christopher Paul in the middle trying to make sense of all of it, McCarron puts it up and gets his first 2 of the night, I believe. Jimmy McCarron, he's got the height, he's got the talent, he's a very good player for the Wildcats, getting his first 2, hopefully of many, now with an only 5-point deficit from the Melrose Red Raiders. Palmerino passing it up to Mallinson. Another 3-point. I wish we could see how many attempts. We'll have to add that into the stats board, but McCarron fouled. Looks like it's going to be the Red Raiders taking it in. It could have been a jump ball, actually. The Wildcats have 8 fouls to the Red Raiders 3, so got to be conscious of all that. It's certainly, like I said, it's certainly a possibility to foul out, especially if you're one of the super talented players like Ryan Clark putting up big points this game. You can't really afford to foul out, especially when you have such a dependency. Vlaskovic on the foul line. Taking 1-1. Let's see if he can make it, take it. Looking to take Melrose up to 28 points. Be a 7-point lead over the Wildcats. Makes his first one. Certainly, like I said, a powerhouse for the Red Raiders. Switching out for number 32, Andrew Norton-Jefferson, is number 2, Robert Wisen. As Vlaskovic takes his second shot, and he makes it. You gotta be careful on the foul, especially when you're fouling someone like him who's such a powerhouse for their team. Again with the long throws. But through the legs of Christopher Paul. Pass out to Mallinson. Mallinson to McCarron, to Clark. Clark passes to Palmerino. Palmerino puts up the 3, and it's good. It's definitely one for the highlight reel. The banks are certainly open tonight in Wilmington. I have that line from Mr. Jim Boyle, who did the girls' game. One of the best casters we've got. Certainly taking a lot of things out of his book. This is my first game casting. You see me a lot in front of the camera for the station, but never really on the headset. So Palmerino's taking it up. Got Ryan Clark, Mallinson, McCarron, and number 14 for Wilmington, Evan Watalitz. Takes the 3, and it's good. Yeah, it's a pretty close game so far. So, not a foul. Wildcats are going to be taking it in. They've got a chance to be going in a half with only a 1-point deficit, which is something that we rarely see with the boys Wildcats. So it'll be a nice change to see a win here tonight. They, like I said earlier, they do still have a chance to make it in. It has via the Sullivan rule. Ooh, Clark, number 34, slipping and sliding all over the place. Clark misses a 3. Mallinson puts it up, misses again. Rebounded by number 2, Vlaskovic. They do have a chance to make it in via the Sullivan rule, which is, in order to do that, they have to beat the next 2 teams, which I think was Triton and St. Joe's, I believe. St. Joe's, yes. We're going to be taking a break, but we'll be right back after the half with some great action going on. We certainly have a close game. We'd like to see the Wildcats take it home tonight, but we'll be right back after these brief messages.
Special thanks to our business sponsors who help support WCTV's coverage of Wildcat sports this winter, including Analog Devices, proudly supporting the Wilmington community for over 40 years.
WCTV's coverage of Wildcat sports this winter is sponsored in part by Red Heat Tavern. Red Heat's catering service brings their backyard grilling experience to you. Their event platters can be customized to suit any occasion and the dietary needs of your party, and when the time comes, they'll work with you to create a menu for your graduation party. Online at redheattavern.com/catering, or you can email catering@redheattavern.com.
Welcome back to Cushing Gymnasium here for Wilmington Wildcat basketball. We've got a very close half right now. Wildcats 27, Melrose Red Raiders at 28. Right now we've got some graphics coming up for you, courtesy of our graphics man, Mr. Nick Toth. Or not right now, but we will have them shortly because the game is starting and we can't miss any action. We haven't got a minute to spare. Tommy Mallinson takes his first 3 of the second half. And it's good. Tommy Mallinson with a 3-pointer, bringing the Wildcats into the lead for the first time in a very long time. Number 22, Vlaskovic, taking it in. Just the pure height of him I'm sure it's frightening to the Wildcats because he's putting up points like crazy. Ooh, a behind the back shot missed by number 5, Charles Borstel. Shot's good, and there is a foul called, I think. Yeah, number 5, Charles Borstel going to the line. A 3rd foul for Jimmy McCarron. First foul of the half for the Wildcats, but you got to be careful. Like I said earlier, fouling out is certainly a possibility, and when you've got a player like Jimmy McCarron, you really can't afford to let that happen, especially when you got 5, Charles Borstel, taking shots up. And then I believe number 2, Robert Wisen, following up with the basket. So we'll do set, taking it in. Missed. Almost rebounded by McCarron. Taken up court by Cusalito. Number 5, Borstel, puts it in again. The Wildcats are coming in hot, but the Melrose Red Raiders are also seeming pretty revitalized here. Mallinson gives it to Clark, who takes the 3 and misses. Very close shot. Almost rebounded by McCarron again. He's got the height. Vlaskovic taking it in. He's just plowing through everybody. And another 2-pointer for him. That's the problem when you've got a star player. He's clearly a very talented player on their team. Still, even though, despite the rapid succession of baskets, Clark taking another 3. Missed. Oh, and it bounces off the top and goes in. Oh, is that? Oh, yeah, it is good. Saw some negative feedback from the Melrose players. Not happy about that. Follow it up, though. Number 5 puts a shot up, misses. 2, fouled on the shot. Looks like the foulee is number 21, excuse me. Will Doucette with his 3rd foul. Play defense and don't let him shoot the ball, the coach of the Red Raiders says. And I would have to agree, that is a good way to play basketball. So Number 2 putting one in. Robert Wisen bringing the score to 33-37. Melrose. Again, only a 4-point lead. Wisen looking to make it 5 here. Off the backboard. Oh, stolen by Palmerino. Palmerino takes it up the court. See, that's the problem. You've got a good, that you can't be flinging them like that. You've got to be careful and calculated with your passes. Shot up by Mallinson, misses. Vlaskovic taking the ball up again. Passes to number 4, puts it up, and is good for a 2. The leads are increasing, and the Wildcats are not liking it. McCarron preparing to shoot. Oh, that is, it's like a foul. Wildcats be taking it out underneath. Number 3, Christopher Cuzolito with the foul. Palmerino pass it to Clark. Back to Palmerino. Back to Clark. Mallinson. Mallinson's backing up a little bit. You got to be careful about the half court. Only got 17 seconds on the shot clock. You got to be careful. McCarron takes the 3, and it just bounces out so carefully. We've got number 3 puts it up, and looks like he was fouled as well. Shot is not good. I don't think so. Number 11, Ryan Clark with his 2nd foul of the night. Number 3, Christopher Cuzolito taking a shot for making the score 40-33. Shot bounces in and out. We've got subs happening. In for Melrose is number 34, Brandon McSorley. And in for the Cats is number 14, Evan Watalitz. Number 3 puts it up for a second free throw. Palmerino taking it up the court. Hands it off to Clark with, wow, number 4 playing some very aggressive defense. 4 with a foul now. Ryan Mayer, the defense was a little too aggressive. Watalitz will be passing it in for the Cats. He'll be looking at either Palmerino or Mallinson. Palmerino is getting super heavily pressured. Ball goes out of bounds. Watalitz will pass it in. Looking at Palmerino, who puts up the 3 immediately. Could have set his feet a little more, but I guess with that, you got people charging in at you. You don't really have much of a choice to just put it up. Vlaskovic, wow, that was quite a shove on Palmerino. I'm surprised that wasn't called. Number 4 driving in, missing the opportunity for a 3, missing the shot as well. Watalitz will take it up, passes it to McCarron. McCarron takes it in, puts it up, misses the shot. McCarron, a very talented player, not having a great night tonight, but there's still 4 minutes left in the 3rd period and certainly another period to go after that. So, wow, shot is good, number 22, and he'll also go to the line, hoping to make it a 3-pointer. Looks like the fouler there was Kevin Palmerino with another foul to his name. First shot, good, and it'll be the only shot. As the gap between Wilmington and Melrose is rapidly increasing. The Cats have got to put something together. A 10-point deficit right now. Mallinson puts up another 3, and it's good, bringing the lead to a mere 7 points. You've got to keep putting those up because Mallinson, he's got a pretty good shot to basket ratio, so you can't let it get to number 22, Vlaskovic. And number 3, Christopher Cuzolito will get another 3-point basket. Now back to 10 points in between the Wildcats and the Red Raiders. Definitely a closer game than we've seen recently. Something happened right below the basket. It looks like The ball goes out of bounds. Mallinson will be passing it in. That means it was off of the Red Raiders. Coming out for the Red Raiders are, number 4, Ryan Mayer, number 34, Brendan McSorley. Passes it into Murphy from Witalitz. Can't take the pass. Ooh, Blaskovitz doing some fancy footwork there. That's what you can call it. He's doing some spin. Looks like he did get fouled. Going into the line. He's really just driving, looking for fouls at this point because he has so many free throws that he's made tonight. So hoping to increase the lead from only 10 to hopefully something closer to a victory for them. As screams echo from the Wildcat crowd. During the free throw, he goes for a second. The Wildcats are really hoping that he doesn't make this. And he does miss. Wow, the ball bounced there from Gavin Erickson to Witalitz. Going in to Mallinson, wasn't ready for it. Ooh, Christopher Paul messes up his ball handling some way or another. Got to Mallinson, Paul Marino, Witalitz. Back to Paul Marino. Paul Marino brings it in to Clark. Clark takes the 3. It's not good. Wow. Again, very aggressively on number 3, Christopher Cuzolito. That's his 3rd foul. So we will see what happens here. Gavin Erickson's going to pass the ball in for the Cats. Looking to find Evan Witalitz. Hits the ball. That's a Paul Marino. He's got McCarron right under the net. You got to be careful getting to him, though, because you got to be careful. Especially if he's surrounded by Vlaskovic, who's had a very good night rebound-wise and steal-wise. Chucks it up the court to number 5. I can read Evan Witalitz's lips. He says, "How is that a foul?" And quite frankly, I have to agree. Looked like number 5 checked him, but they'll call it and he'll take 2 shots. Hoping to increase the lead from 12 to at the very least 13. The ball is good. Subs are made. Looks like there is an exchange on the court happening. Coming in, we got a timeout happening right now. Got stats from Ryan Clark coming up, courtesy of our stats man, Mr. Nick Toth, helping me out tonight. Clark's had a pretty good game. He's got 7 points right now out of the Cats' 36. I think all of them were scored in the first period, so I think he's got a good shot of helping out the team bring down the gap. We also got Tommy Mallinson coming in with 15 points, certainly a 3-point shooter for the team. Making those baskets, certainly helping everybody out. He's got 4 3-pointers this game so far. Unfortunately, though, the Cats have got to keep in mind their passing and make sure that they can hit the people at the right time. Passing in for the Cats is Gavin Erickson, number 10. Evan Witalitz will switch out for him. Passes to Mallinson. We'll throw it up to Paul Marino, who will narrowly avoid being checked by 22. Pass to Erickson. It's good for a 2. Very smooth play there. I think if we can see a lot more of those coming up in the end of the first period, we've got a minute 40 left, and especially in the last period. But we can see a lot more of that. We'll see a lot more of that and a lot less of this, which is constant baskets from the Red Raiders in response to the Wildcats basket every time. Paul Marino. Red Raiders are playing super aggressively. And I guess you got to have a second to reset when you're the Cats right now. Another shot from Christopher Paul, number 21. It's good, bringing the lead to 53-38, Melrose. Regardless, not a very poorly scoring game for the Cats. Still 38. Coming up right now, we got some more stats. Number 3, Kevin Palmerino. He's having a pretty good game. He's putting up a couple shots. 5 points so far. Definitely a good supporting player. So I think what the Cats need to do right now is they've got to take a breather. I mean, you've got some really big players on the Red Raiders who are specifically number 22, Luka Vlaskovic, who's probably scored close to half of Melrose's 53 points, if not more. So you've got to keep an eye out for people like him. You got to keep an eye out for people like Kuzalito, Wiesen, and Mayer, who are just consistently putting up shots. And especially when you're being blasted with very rough, from what it seems, man-to-man defense, you've got to take a breather. Don't let yourself get surrounded. Pass the ball around, because if you're right near the half-court line and you're getting 3 guys on you, if you can get the ball out of there, that's 3 guys who are not below the net. Let's see if they can, the Cats can make that happen with 1:10 remaining in the 3rd period. Mallinson will pass it to Erickson. Drive it in. Be quick about it. Passes to McCarron. Not sure if he saw that coming, but he did get it. Mallinson will, not Mallinson, excuse me. Watals will put it up, and it'll be out off of the Red Raiders. Again, we are still seeing some pretty good plays happening. We just got to make him consistent. McCarron will be shuffle around below the net. Can't make the shot, but number 22, I don't think he's come out all game because he's made consistently good shots. Misses the shot, misses the layup, but the Wildcats can't handle the ball coming out. Another foul. Looks like number 2, Tommy Mallinson, on the foul with his 2nd foul. Top of the key is Christopher Kuzalito taking 2 shots. Or 1 shot, excuse me. The jump ball, I believe. Oh, another foul. Is that 21, I believe, Christopher Paul? Yes, Christopher Paul with his 3rd foul. It's a very rough game today for both the Cats and the Red Raiders on their offense and defense, playing very rough. Clark able to get it to McCarron. McCarron loses the ball, getting ganged up on. Also getting called for a travel. The game started out pretty good, but now it's looking a little grim for the Cats. Granted, still they're only down 13, 14. Nope, more than that. 15. They're only down 15 points. I mean, certainly you've got a whole period coming up. Only 19 seconds left in this one, though. But you got the chance to make it happen. We've got number 10 putting it in. 22 to 21. Number 22, Luka Vlaskovic. He's just a powerhouse in this game. This is the shot, though. Willie Stewart take it to Ryan Clark. Passes to McCarron, who hits it out. McCarron, a talented player. Not having a very lucky game today, but Vlaskovic chucks it, hits the backboard. We've got end of the period. We're about to head to a quick break, but we'll be right back with some more Wildcat action, hoping to see if the Wildcats can at least bridge the gap, if not overtake the Red Raiders. We'll see you right after these messages.
Special thanks to our business sponsors who help support WCTV's coverage of Wildcat sports this winter, including Analog Devices, proudly supporting the Wilmington community for over 40 years.
Welcome back to Wildcat Sports. We have boys basketball. Today is February 13th. It's a crisp Thursday night in Wilmington here at Cushing Gymnasium. Wildcats are down 38 to 53. Hoping to bridge the gap, if not overtake the Red Raiders. But we've had some good shots tonight. We've got Ryan Clark, Tommy Mallinson, both of them with some pretty high numbers, trying to help the team make it to a victory. But right now it's the Red Raiders who have the ball. Pass around, number 5 will shoot it, a 3, and it's good. I've got to hand it to the Red Raiders. They've got a good team. They have certainly some great players. Number 5, Charles Borstel, and number 22, Luka Vlaskovic in particular. Definitely, I think Vlaskovic scored easily, at the very least, half of the Red Raiders' points. But what's happening here, I think, with the Wildcats is you've got to play. Like, you got to play smooth. You can't play. There's a very fine line between smooth and sloppy, and you've got to be careful defining that line and not crossing it. I mean, if the Wildcats can play smooth, get the ball around, not throw it to people who aren't ready, or even always be ready for the ball. But we've got to. I think we're definitely able to bridge the gap. I mean, 7 minutes. You've only got to score like 2 points a minute. A little more than that, but I think if you're certainly able to do it. I mean, you've got to play hard. You've got to take your shots calculated. We've got stats for number 2, Tommy Mallinson, coming up, courtesy of our stats man, Mr. Nick Toth. We've got 15 points from him. Taking a lot of threes tonight. 4 3-pointers to be exact, made in the hoop. And I think if he can continue to do that, keep getting the ball out to him. He's got to make sure to keep putting the ball up. Haven't had many Wildcats go to the hoop tonight, but in terms of free throws. But I think if they want to have any chance of beating Triton and St. Joe's next week, their next 2 games, they've got to keep working on their ball handling. They've got to keep playing smooth and not sloppy. And I think that's the line they've got to define heading into these next 2 in order to win and get in based on the Sullivan rule. Sullivan rule also helped the boys tennis team last season, which I'm a proud member of. Get to the state tournament. Another couple large, long throws here happening for the Wildcats. Erickson passes to Mallinson, who's at the top. To Clark. Clark to Stewart. Looks like he's getting ready to shoot, but you got to be careful with anything really at this point. I think definitely Mallinson's always looking for those threes if he can get them, but another 3 by Erickson. Misses. I think you've also got to be confident, but not overconfident as well. So you got to find time to make threes, but at the same time, you've also got to keep in mind that it's easy to go in. If you got big kids like you got Ryan Clark, he's pretty tall. He's a pretty tall kid. If you can get him to drive in, he takes the 3, misses. But if you can get him to drive in, there's a good chance he'll get fouled. There's a chance he'll also make the shot. So I think you've also got to keep that in mind. I mean, look what Luka Vlaskovic just did. He pushed in, forced his way into the circle there. He tried to make the shot, and I mean, I think there was a chance he also got fouled. He could have also got fouled there if he played his cards right, shoved around a little bit, maybe fall on the ground. Ryan Clark missing a layup. Got Red Raiders going shot underneath. It looks like a foul was called. With number 4 for the Red Raiders, Ryan Mayer, coming to the line, hoping to make a shot and make the 20-point score gap even larger. Oh, close one. Goes around the ring a couple times and gets out just in time for the Cats to take a sigh of relief that they're not having to score more points than before. Taking a second shot there. Misses again. Something good for the Wildcats, but again, it'll all be in vain if they score a 2 here. Fouled. Looks like Clark fouled. He's going to take 2. The foul is on number 11. Yeah, Ryan Clark with his 4th foul. You got to keep in mind that fouling out is an option, and you got to be not a good option. Obviously, you don't want to foul out because you're losing players, but you've got to keep your players in the game, obviously keep them as options. With another shot being made, bringing the Melrose total up to 60 points. We're seeing a score here that's almost too familiar. We had a great first half, I think, for the Cats. I think if you can, I think the way the way I've heard it said before is the Wildcats won the first half, especially considering how their scores have been in the past couple games, or really all season. Oh, looks like we've got Vlaskovic going down. Looks like he's limping to the bench. Could be a blessing in disguise for the Cats. Not that an injury is ever good, but I think he's been really the powerhouse that's been holding the Cats back from scoring. Coming in for the Red Raiders is number 32, Andrew Norton Jefferson, and number 34, Brandon McSorley. Robert Wisen getting applause as he heads off the court. As number 21, Will Doucette takes one shot, misses, prepares to take a second. Hoping to bridge the unfortunately ever-expanding gap here between the Wildcats and the Red Raiders. Takes a shot. It's a good, clean swish, bringing the gap to only 21 points. 5 minutes, 35 seconds left in the period, in the game. 23 maneuvers around the Cats. Throws a long ball to number 4, Ryan Mayer. Number 34, not getting much action tonight, Brandon McSorley, but he's certainly contributing to the team, along with really all of them. You can see how they're putting up offensive blocking and everything. As number 14, Evan Watalitz, goes in, misses the layup, gets his own rebound. Mallinson takes it in, misses, bounces it out. They're fumbling around, but in the end, it did get to number 4, Charles Mayer. Number 5 takes a really long 3, which is, fortunately for the Cats, doesn't make it in. Paul Marino, who's now in, jumping around. I think there was a foul there. Yeah, looks like they will be lining up to take some shots here. Specifically, number 3, Kevin Palmerino, is fouled by number 3, Christopher Cuzolito, captain, with his 4th foul. I think what we're going to see happen is everybody right now has got some very high fouls. Right now, even just this half, we've got 9 fouls on the Cats and 7 fouls on Melrose. I think you're going to start to see some of the powerhouses, and both teams really, but specifically for Melrose, start to foul out. I mean, you got Cuzolito just fouled again, and you're getting close to the magic number, and I think that once you hit it, it's going to be a big opportunity for the Cats to bridge the gap. To be honest with you, I don't know if I think it's too late to bring home a win, especially at the rate that the Red Raiders are still consistently putting in baskets, but looks like another foul on number 32, Norton Jefferson there. Number 10, Gavin Erickson, will go to the line, making 1 shot, looking to bring home a second one. Bridging the gap. I mean, like I said, I think it could be too late to take home a win for the Cats, but I mean, especially if you start seeing Melrose kids foul out. You've already got Vlaskovic injured, but especially if you continue to see people putting in good baskets like Gavin Erickson just did. It's being sent around a little bit. In the end, gets to Jimmy McCarron underneath the basket. Paul Marino will pass it into Mallinson. Puts it up in a clean 3. Tommy Mallinson, his 5th of the night. Certainly helped out by number 10 there, Gavin Erickson, with those 2 free throws. The gap is closing with 44 for the Wildcats and 60 for Melrose. I think at the rate they're going, the Cats will easily be able to get up to 50, hopefully, especially if Vlaskovic. Oh, it looks like he's on the outside of the ring in their timeout circle there, so there's a very big possibility he could be coming in, unfortunately, for the Cats. He did look like he was injured earlier. I'm not sure how many fouls he's got, but I know Kuzolito, he hit 4. So I think if we start seeing these big powerhouses from Melrose start fouling out, I think you're gonna start seeing a pattern where there's not a lot of power coming from Melrose, and Wilmington's able to take that inspiration and go hard at it. Vlaskovic's not coming back in. Instead, we got Ryan Mader. Christopher Kuzolito, a dangerous move for the risk that he could get another foul. Kuzolito takes it off the bat. I think if the Wildcats are smart here, they're going to try to make fouls happen. Ooh, off of number 3, Kuzolito. Number 10, Gavin Erickson's going to take it in, or pass it in, excuse me. Like I said, I still think there's certainly a chance here that the Cats could turn it around. And if not, I mean, there's only 3.5 left. So a win looks pretty far off, but I think they can get to 50. We've had a pretty good game, honestly. The Wildcats, I think they won the first half with a very close, I believe, a 1-point deficit. That shot on 24 will be no good. But still, Melrose not scoring many points recently. The Cats are taking up a couple. Another foul, though, by number 2, Tommy Mallinson, will bring it to his 3rd foul. Number 4, Ryan Mayer, going to the line. Taking 2 shots, I think, for, 2 shots for Melrose. First one goes in. He's hoping that the next one does as well, but I think if the Cats want a chance here, they've got to pray it doesn't happen. But honestly, I think a good goal for the Cats at this point would be hitting that 50 points. I think they've got 3 minutes to do it. At this point, a win is impossible. They've got to score, or almost impossible. They've got to score like 10 points a minute. Gavin Erickson takes a 3. Doesn't happen. And I think if they could hit the 50, I think that will be a good, satisfying game for them. Because if you think about it, they haven't had a crazy season. Ooh, Evan Watalis taking a ball to the face. Courtesy of number 34, Brandon McSorley. I think Watalis' jaw is going to be pretty sorely coming up. But number 4 will pass it in, Ryan Mayer. Saved the ball by Paul Marino. Sends it to Kuzolito, gets a 3. That 50-point goal is seeming pretty sweet right now for the Cats, but you've got to hit it, and I think that would be a satisfying conclusion for them. They're 2-15 overall this season. I think what they need to realize is that you don't have to win to have a satisfying game. I mean, you've got Mallinson. He hit 5 3-balls this game. I think that's a satisfying game for him. Definitely a success, and especially since he's only a sophomore. He's going to be getting a lot more playtime coming up, especially in these next 2 years. Even if Cats, they've got 2. Even if they do want to make it via the Sullivan rule, they really don't have crazy chances there because those 2 teams, St. Joe's and Triton, are pretty good teams, playing pretty strong this season. So you've got to think how do you define a success in a game? It's not necessarily a win, but I think this team has certainly had great growing experience. They've got a young team, lots of sophomores, but I think you've got to think. Like, I think honestly, if they could hit, I think today's a success. I mean, they definitely had a great first half. They were down a bunch, came back a little bit, and I think they're still putting in points, even though the Red Raiders are putting up a very strong and rough man-to-man defense today. Mallinson will take a shot, hoping for a 6. It's not going to happen, though, as number 55 with his first time in the game, Maxwell Kirby. Kirby gets the ball. I think he's getting some playtime because of the 22-point lead. Kirby takes the shot. Ooh, bounces on the rim twice. Wow, knocked in by number 33. You got to hand it to the Red Raiders. What a great play. despite not being super great for the Cats. Minute and a half left. We've got Wildcats tailing by 33 points. 24 points, excuse me. Yeah, so, last time the Wildcats played the Red Raiders, on January 17th, they lost 70-37. So I think this is already a very vast upgrade. Coming in for the Wildcats, we've got a couple new faces there. We've got, first things first, we've got number 34, Connor Paquette, who's a senior. We've also got Ryan Forcino and DJ Recupero. Recupero going in for a layup, but I think it's good on coach to get some definitely get some play time in for all these players. I think Connor Paquette, he's definitely got the height advantage. Ball bouncing around, not even touching the ground there for the Raiders. Under a minute left now. 50 goal is looking bleak, but I still think they've had a pretty good game. The Cats, at least. I mean, they've certainly improved since their last game. So Willie Stewart taking it out at the 3 to Paquette. Paquette drives in. Recupero also drives in, puts it up, doesn't make it. Forcina puts up the ball, stolen by number 33. Forcina dives for the jump ball, can't reach it in time. Now the Red Raiders are just trying to kill the clock. You got 20 seconds left. At this point, the Cats are just trying to steal it, not let them hit that 70 that they were hurt by last time. Another bounce, good. Got, number 20 grabbing in the net. It's not good. Ball goes out. Looks like off of number 2. No, off of number 23, I believe. Tommy Mallinson will take it out. 5 seconds left. Gonna be shooting a long ball. Ooh, surprisingly close off the rim. Final score is number 44 to 68. Melrose will take it. I'd like to thank my crew on the stats. We got Nick Toth, our director, Adam Dusenberry. On the graphics, we have Cam Quinlan. And we got Paul Hipple on the floor cam. We've got I think it was a pretty good game. The Cats were able to make a pretty good dent in the scoreboard considering their performance last time they played Melrose. So I'd like to thank everybody for watching. My name's Hayden Kane, and we'll see you guys next time.